Hello, Holy Cross community. This is Father Gerasimos. For many years now, I have had a subscription to the National Parks Conservation Association, and every 3 months the magazine comes out, and there's a section usually there about the different animals that live in different parks. And as we know, as our climate is changing and as the world is expanding, that many animals are at the verge of extinction or have been extinct or not found in some places in the national parks as they used to in the past. That is just a reality of endangered species. And I'm sitting here in our church in a particular place where I would say there is another endangered species, and that is, I'm sitting here where Miss Hariklia used to be, and one of the older ladies who would come on the weekday services and be present and have the church during the weekday services being full of people and the liturgy going on and people chanting and getting on Didero, and people receiving Holy Communion and being excited for the different weekly day saints. And as years go by, the older ladies who used to fill up the seats here are passing away and are leaving for the next life, and as they're old and so forth. So I was wondering that this species of beautiful ladies are dedicated to God, and maybe they were free enough to come here because they were retired. It was a different period where parents actually took care of their own children. Nowadays we have a lot of parents who have the grandparents taking care of their own children. But it was a period that women, older women would come to church and the church would be filled. And I believe my big question is, as these ladies are dying out and leaving this world, the question is, will there be the next generation of ladies who are dedicated to God, ladies who as they retire, they will offer themselves more to God, more in the presence of the holy things, as their duties as moms or as duties at home become less as they become older? Will they be coming here to keep the church alive? It's not only true for the women also. I see some of the older parish council members who used to be here when I first came here on weekdays, and they would open the church and make sure that the church is running and active, and we pass the tray or whatever needs to be done. And that too, that species of older men is quickly leaving. And the big question is, will there be other men who, as they become older, will they fulfill that role also of keeping the church alive during the week, during the weekday services? The reality is that we have a problem even on Sundays and for people to come. And just like in the national parks, sometimes if animals don't migrate in a certain area, then that place will not have. It might be wolves, or it might be bears, and so forth. And we have to really think about it, is that 20 years from now, Father Gerasimos probably retired himself, still hopefully serving as a priest somewhere, somewhat, hopefully here. But as 20 years from now, will there be no more weekday services because nobody's around to do them? That is a reality. And just like the National Park magazines talk about of a time past where buffaloes used to roam, or wolves used to be up in the Lake Superior Islands and so forth, what will happen to this place here? Will it only be a church for Sunday? And that too, as we see in our younger generations, are we going to be even that? Even that, I wonder sometimes, as we have a decrease. So, what will happen? I don't know. What happened to the animals? They are getting endangered, they're getting extinct. And maybe we will be extinct. Okay, that's a reality. You know, Jesus Christ says, that he will shorten the days at the end because people's hearts will become cold. He will shorten the days, and he asked the questions, will there be any faithful left in the last days? Because the people's hearts have become cold. And it still blows my mind why can something so simple as offering the first hour and a half to 2 to God at the beginning of the week, which is Sunday. Why has it become so complicated? Why people have to say, Father, I'll see, Father, I'll try. Why can't it just be, Father, I will. I will come to church on Sunday. Why has it become such a difficult thing? And because people who are not inspired by church, people who do not love God, people who do not make the commitment, will not be here when they become older either. Maybe they will. God has a way of providing. The church is 2,000 years old, and the church is still open after 2,000 years through wars and persecutions and oppressions and disasters and famines and pestilences, and somehow God always provides those people who seek Him. So maybe I should be worried, maybe I should not. God will take care of His church as He has been. God will raise up those people who love Him every generation, and the devil will convince others not to do what they need to do. So with that message, I sign off this week. I am here at the location of one of our older ladies who has left this world, Miss Hariklia, some years ago. But I can see around the church of where other older ladies used to be. May God give them eternal rest and a resurrection on the second coming. May God see their efforts. May God see their love for them. And I really, really pray that the next generation of both men and women will step up and fulfill the shoes of these mighty men and women, the older men and women of this community who serve so faithfully through the years. May God always be with you. I love you, and that's why I say these messages to you, and I pray all the best. Amen.